Whenever I see all of us, I tell you to stay self-aware. Self-awareness is an important matter. If you are not self-aware, your practice cannot develop. When people think about the practice, they only think of sitting meditation, walking meditation, and how to make the mind calm and collected. They focus on calmness, they focus on happiness. Is that good? Yes, but there is something better than that. Instead of sitting in meditation and lacking mindfulness, losing awareness of yourself, sit with awareness. Is walking meditation good? Sure, but it is much better if you walk with self-awareness. If you abandon self-awareness, there is no progress to the endeavor. It is merely bringing the mind to a still or empty spot. It is calm, but then it's restless again. It just goes around and around with no end. Self-awareness is the starting point for developing all wholesome qualities. When people do bad things, they do them when they are not self-aware, when they are lost. When someone hits or kills another, they are lost, succumbing to the power of anger. When someone steals, they are lost, succumbing to the power of greed. If they are not lost and overpowered by defilements, if they are aware within themselves, they cannot do unwholesome deeds. I tell you to be self-aware, but some of you think too much and try too hard to be self-aware. You go overboard. Self-awareness is something you can already have. Right now the body is sitting, so know the body is sitting. Sense the body sitting. The body is breathing, so know that. Keep sensing like this. This is called being self-aware. Do you have to make the mind still, dull, or numb first in order to be self-aware? No. Just use the normal mind and be aware directly. It can already be aware just fine. We just tend to neglect to do that. Most people, when they hear they should be self-aware, they start forcing and controlling themselves. They start propping up the mind, gathering it in, and guarding it. The mind becomes dull, and then they keep awareness of the body moving with strain and tension. That mind is lost in fabrication. That is not called self-awareness. What is it fabricating? It's fabricating the state of being a practitioner. A practitioner surely must be unlike an ordinary human being. The mind must be abnormal, still, not thinking, not imagining. Sometimes it just sits there, still and tense. That's useless. It's a waste of time. If you want to be self-aware, just sense directly. See form moving. At first, when you lift a hand like this, you may sense that I'm lifting my hand. And if you observe carefully, the thing that is moving never says that it is me. The idea of me is entirely a matter of thinking. And then you get lost in thought. Try being self-aware. Use this ordinary mind and just sense. When the body is sitting, know it. When the body is standing, know it. When the body is walking, know it. When the body is lying down, know it. Know using the ordinary mind that you already have and do not make it abnormal. When we make the mind abnormal, It is because we fabricate. We create a fabricated state. We create the realm of being a practitioner, dull, sluggish, rigid, tense. Some people do that, fabricate their own creations and think it's a good practice. Whenever the mind fabricates, the mind is stuck in a realm right there and then. The Buddha said that both small realms and large realms are like excrement. Whether small lumps or big lumps, none of them are worth eating. So do not get lost in fabricating the mind. When walking, we fabricate bodily states. We walk in this or that posture. Which posture is correct? The posture that our parents taught us to walk in is already good. We've walked like that up until now. The only thing our parents did not teach us was to be aware that the body is walking. So practice differs from ordinary life only slightly. There is self-awareness. We walk, however we have always walked. Every step we take, we walk with self-awareness. That is Dhamma practice. But if we walk back and forth according to manuals, this posture, that posture, each tradition teaching something different, noting this, noting that, the mind becomes tense and rigid. That's all fabrication. What lies behind that fabrication is greed, wanting to be good, wanting to know, wanting to see, wanting to become, to acquire, to improve. Greed arises, and then intentional practice arises. Then fabrication arises regarding the way we think we should practice. Instead of knowing the body as it is, knowing the mind as it is, instead of that, we fabricate day after day. Whenever we think about the practice, we fabricate. So what is simple becomes difficult. What is right in front of our eyes becomes something mysterious. Right now, you are sitting. Do you sense it? Nod your head. Do you sense it? Do you have to tidy up the mind first? The mind is tidy, and then you nod. You sense it. That has already become a fabrication. Craftiness has arisen. Instead of knowing simply, tricks appear in the practice. No matter how much you do that, it is hard to get anything good out of it. It is not real self-awareness. So train yourself to know. The body breathes, and know it. The body stands, and know it. The body walks, sits, lies down. Be aware of it. The body moves, the body still, just know it. Keep knowing and sensing continuously. Seeing the body as it moves is called being self-aware. When happiness or unhappiness arise, know that these things have arisen, and that's called being self-aware. It is knowing in the mental domain. What we call ourselves consists of material phenomena and mental phenomena. Material phenomena are the bodily ones. It stands, it walks, it's still, it lies down. Be aware of it. Whenever you forget it, that's called lacking mindfulness. You're no longer aware within yourself, and that is useless. Lacking mindfulness means lacking practice. Having mindfulness means having practice. So if you're not aware within yourself, you lack mindfulness. There is no practice. And even if you sit in meditation all night long, you are not practicing. You're just torturing yourself. Walking all day and night without meditation, walking meditation day and night without mindfulness is not called practice. It immediately becomes self-mortification. You make yourself suffer without benefit. Self-mortification means making yourself suffer without benefit. There is hardship, and if there is hardship and there's benefit, that's not self-mortification. For example, intentionally keeping the precepts. You know why you keep them. You have mindfulness guarding the mind, not letting it unwholesome actions occur from the power of defilements, and that's good. But if you keep the precepts with tension, everything becomes tense, and that is very common, but it is self-mortification. When in walking meditation, if you know that you walk in order to be aware within yourself, one day you will see that the body that walks is not me. And the mind that knows the walking body is not me either. Walk with self-awareness. This is right effort. This is correct effort. But if you do walking meditation and your mind sees nothing clearly, and you keep forcing yourself the whole time, feeling tense, setting a time limit of 1 hour, maybe stressed or distracted, walking while watching the clock, in all of these cases, just 1 minute can feel unbearable. That walking is self-mortification. You make yourself suffer without benefit arising at all. Almost 100% of practitioners do self-mortification. They make themselves suffer for no reason. So try to stay self-aware. Whenever mindfulness is lacking, whenever you are not self-aware, whatever you are doing only serves the defilements. You think it will make you better, it does not. You're following defilements. Wanting to be good is greed. Wanting to be good, you walk all day and night, suffering, forcing yourself to keep going. When you complete the set of time, you feel pleased and satisfied. I feel happy now, this is good. But nothing has improved at all. Some people go on retreats and suffer greatly. On the last day, when they're about to go home, the mind becomes very happy, light, and open. Why? Because they're about to go home. They've suffered for many days. It is just a normal psychological mechanism where the body becomes happy. It's not the result of practice. It is the result of stopping self-mortification, stopping the oppression of the body and mind. So, try to maintain self-awareness, have mindfulness. Keep being self-aware, and know with a normal mind. Right now you are sitting. Do you know you're sitting? There's no need to adjust the mind at all. It can directly know that you are sitting. As soon as you start adjusting the mind, you immediately fall into self-mortification. You begin forcing the mind becomes tense, the mind suffers for no benefit. Keep being self-aware. Just sense. It is not difficult. Simply know. Do not think about it. Do not stare or fixate. Just sense. You're sitting right now. Just be aware that you're sitting. If you're not self-aware, then two things can happen. One is the mind will drift off and think about other things and forgets the body sitting. The other is that the mind stares at and fixates on the body with tension. When you forget the body, that is indulgence in the sense pleasures. It's too lax. When you focus in and stare at the body intensely, that is self-mortification. Too tight. When you're not walking the middle way, the path and the fruition do not occur. So it is very important that we start our practice correctly. If the starting point is wrong, everything is wrong. Like making a wrong move in chess. When the first move is wrong, everything gets worse from there. Wrong across the board. So first make the starting point correct. The Buddha said that he did not see any Dhamma that is more important than self-awareness for reducing and eradicating the underlying defilements. To cultivate self-awareness, there is nothing to do. Just know directly. The body is sitting, know that. The body's walking, know that. Look at the 4 foundations of mindfulness. The Buddha didn't tell us to do anything. Bhikkhus, fold your legs, sit straight, establish mindfulness at the fore. When breathing out long, know that you're breathing out long. When breathing in long, know that you're breathing in long. What are we told to do? To know. To know what? Know the body breathing out and breathing in. We know the body. If we know the body and mind, that is called being self-aware. But if we breathe with tension or stress, that's not self-awareness, that's torturing ourselves. Bhikkhus, when standing, know clearly that you are standing. When walking, know clearly that you are walking. When sitting, know clearly that you are sitting, and lying down, know that you're lying down. Right now, we are sitting, so we know that we are sitting. There's nothing to do. There's no need to adjust the mind. Just sense it right now, sitting here. Notice that while listening to me say this, we can sense the body sitting. The mind is not heavy or tense. If we try to sense the body sitting and the mind becomes tense, that means we have already secretly fabricated something. We've made the mind rigid and dull, thinking that that is how we practice. The practice is simply keeping self-awareness and recognizing the changes of body and mind. In the past, when I practiced, I did not understand this point either. I sat and walked like people generally do, but what I did have was mindfulness. I was aware within myself. When I sat in meditation, I did not sit in order to see this or that, or to know other people's minds, or see spirits, see the past or future, to recollect past lives, or know where someone was reborn after death. I didn't want any of those things. When I was a lay person, I still wanted some of them. It felt fun. But after ordaining, I wanted none of it. I dropped it all. We must do as the Buddha instructed. He told us to learn about ourselves, not to learn about things on the outside. So keep being self-aware with mindfulness. When the body moves, sense it. When the mind moves and changes, sense it. How does it change? One moment it is happy, the next moment unhappy, and the next neutral. One moment wholesome, the next greedy. One moment angry, the next deluded. One moment self-aware, then the next lost looking at forms, then aware again. Lost in sounds, then aware. Odors, then aware again. Then lost tasting flavors, then aware again. Lost thinking and fabricating, then self-aware again. Then slipping into fixating on a meditation object. Keep recognizing it continuously. It isn't so hard. And the body sitting, know that the body is sitting. I don't see that as difficult. There's nothing to do. It already can know. We simply neglect to. It is not that we cannot know. Everyone can know. We neglect to know because we do not see that it is important. Watching the mind is also not difficult. It is not mysterious. Everyone can know. Right now, is the mind happy or unhappy? Can we know? Do we have to do any posturing first? Do we have to make the mind still and then check whether it is happiness or not? Or if there is unhappiness or not? There is no need to do anything at all. Right now, if the mind is happy, know so. Right now, if the mind is suffering, know that. When anger arises, do we know so? It is not difficult to know that you are angry. We simply neglect to know. For example, when we're driving a car and somebody cuts us off, we get angry. What do most people do when they get angry? They look at the car that cut them off. They stare, looking for a way to get revenge, racing the car. That is how worldly people are. But when a practitioner gets angry, someone cuts in front of us, then they are completely gone. They've gone ahead. But we see the angry mind. There's nothing we need to do. We don't have to enter jhana first to see that we are angry. It can readily be observed. Just don't neglect to. Keep knowing continuously. When the mind is happy, know so. When the mind is not, know that. When the mind is greedy, angry, deluded, know it as it is. When the mind runs off to think, know it. When the mind sinks into focus, know that. When the mind goes searching for objects, know that too. For example, when we sit in meditation, sometimes the mind sways back and forth, searching for an object. What should I observe? So remember just this thing. Practice is not difficult. It's difficult because we neglect to practice. Right now, there is breathing in or there is breathing out. Can we know? Is it difficult? Do we have to make the mind still first in order to know? Do we have to force the mind to be tense, dull, or sluggish first? There is no need to force anything at all. When the mind has wandered into thought, can we know so? Usually we know the content of the thought, not that the mind is thinking. Knowing the content of thought is completely ordinary. Even a dog can do that. But knowing that the mind is thinking, that is the practice. When we are angry and focus on the person who made us angry, anyone can do that. But when we are angry and know that the mind is angry, that is Dhamma practice. So keep observing the body and mind continuously. When our samadhi is good and the mind has strength, we observe the mind at work. One moment it is happy, one moment unhappy, one moment neutral. One moment good, one moment bad, one moment self-aware, one moment lost through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, or mind. Watch it working, and one day wisdom will arise. We'll see that a happy mind is impermanent, an unhappy mind is impermanent, a neutral mind is impermanent, a wholesome, a greedy, angry, or deluded mind is impermanent, a self-aware mind is impermanent, a mind lost through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, or mind is impermanent, and a mind that is stable, self-aware within itself is impermanent. A mind lost in thought is impermanent. A mind that moves into an object is impermanent. This is wisdom. This is how the development of wisdom proceeds. It sees reality. It doesn't think about it. Thinking that the body is impermanent, suffering, and non-self, that the mind is impermanent, suffering, or non-self, that is not seeing. Vipassana requires seeing directly. We don't use the eyes to see. We do not see with the physical eyes. We see with the mind. We have an eye that sees phenomena. We have that eye. We just need to wake it up. Open it. Not opening the physical eyes, but opening the eye of the mind. So the body sitting, walking, lying down, breathing, just know it. There's nothing much to do. It can already be known. When the mind is happy, unhappy, greedy, angry, deluded, know it. When the mind is good or bad, know that. Know continuously through direct sensing. This is called knowing through insight. Knowing with wisdom. Knowing with a clear eye, the Dhamma eye. Dhamma consists of material phenomena and mental phenomena. We see material phenomena and mental phenomena functioning continuously. But remember this, to be able to see, we must keep the 5 precepts. The moment the precepts are broken, our eye goes blind immediately. The inner eye goes blind. Genuine practice is not possible. Every day we must practice in a formal way. Take a meditation object and keep the mind with the meditation object. And when the mind strays, know so. When the mind sinks towards the meditation object, know that. Train like this often in a formal way. Pick a meditation object and keep recognizing the mind and what it does. What we gain is a mind that is a stable observer and has strength. And when a mind that is stable and the stable observer, then the practice is no longer difficult. The body is sitting and the mind is the one that knows. It can sense easily. But if the mind is distracted while sitting, it knows nothing, it cannot see clearly. So the mind must have samadhi. This samadhi must be trained through meditation practice. You must be doing it every day if you want real results. You cannot just say you'll develop mindfulness only in daily life and skip formal practice. That does not work. I've tested it myself. Since I was a child, since the age of 7, I practiced meditation every day. Sometimes in a formal way, sometimes quietly without anyone knowing, like while riding a bus. I didn't just sit idly on days when the mind was distracted. I practiced calming it. On days when the mind was already calm, I practiced developing wisdom. Whenever there was time, I practiced. I kept doing it continuously. The mind became calm. I trained in samadhi for 22 years, but I didn't know how to develop wisdom. Then I met Luangpu Dun. I went to pay respect to him and told him, "Luangpu, I want to practice." And he didn't teach me right away. He sat with his eyes closed in silence for over 40 minutes. Not quite an hour, but more than a half an hour. And I thought to myself, oh, Luangpu is old, he's eaten and he's fallen asleep. But in fact, he was examining my background, seeing what meditation practices I had done, and what would suit me, so he could build on what I already had. If one's practice can be built upon, progress is fast. If one has to start from the beginning, it's more difficult. When he opened his eyes, he said, "Practice is not difficult. It is only difficult for those who do not practice. You've studied many books. From now on, study your own mind." That was all he taught me. So I studied my mind the same way I did books. When I read a novel, and it comes to a romantic scene, then we know that that's what's going on. Or if there's an angry scene, we know that. Studying the mind is the same as watching a drama. There are many characters that perform in the mind. There are heroes, heroines, villains, comedic characters. All of them, they perform in the mind all day and all night. One moment there's the good characters that appear, then the bad ones, then they disappear. If we observe carefully, the villains appear all day long. The good ones do not come often. Villains come frequently for the quick-tempered folks. If someone is jealous, the villain of jealousy keeps appearing, coming to perform. The stage of this drama is right here in the mind. Many kinds of Dhamma appear and perform in the mind, both good and bad ones. They are just characters. Greed is one character, angry and delusion are other characters. Even mindfulness is a character, and samadhi is one, wisdom is one. Faith is another character. Altogether, there are more than 70 characters. It is a huge theater indeed, and it is performing right here in the mind. So keep watching these characters like watching a drama. When we watch a drama, we do not interfere. We do not go around giving instructions the way people like to do, saying, "Come on, kiss already," things like that. We do not do that. We just see the mind is working and know it as it is. We know it just as it is. So keep watching this drama playing out in your mind. If we're not self-aware, we get lost in the world of thinking. And then, when thinking about the practice, we get lost in the world of stress and strain. Here, the mind strays from the middle way. The mind that walks the middle way is just an ordinary self-aware mind. But an ordinary mind is hard to find, because from birth onward, there has only been an abnormal mind, a mind dragged around by defilements, pulled left and right, forward and backward, up and down, constantly agitated. Our mind has never been ordinary. So we have to train it to become ordinary first. To train the mind to be ordinary, first set your intention to keep the precepts. Morality means normality. But the normality of morality is normality at the level of body and speech, body that is normal, speech that is normal, not dominated by defilements in order to doing bad actions through deeds and speech. After that, we train in samadhi so the mind becomes normal. A normal mind is an ordinary mind. What is an ordinary mind like? The Buddha already said it. The mind is naturally luminous, but it is defiled by visiting defilements. Our mind is not luminous, even though by nature it is luminous and clear. We've allowed defilements to trample and dominate the mind all day and night, and thus we need to practice samadhi. The way to practice samadhi is to choose a meditation object and keep recognizing the mind. When the mind lacks samadhi, it is because the defilements have come to provoke it, making it jump and run about. If we have mindfulness recollecting mental phenomena, practicing with a meditation object, but then the mind runs off to think, we recognize it. When the mind slips into fixating because of greed, wanting to be good, we recognize that. Recognize again and again. The defilements cannot provoke the mind. When defilements cannot provoke the mind becomes ordinary. That is normality. That is being ordinary. Morality makes the body and speech normal. When people punch and fight and argue and quarrel, they look like mad people. People who are loud, rowdy, noisy, shouting and yelling look like mad people too, laughing loudly, forgetting themselves. It's like an infant. When it wants to laugh, it laughs. This is not normal. It is dominated by defilements. So first set your intention to keep the precepts. When the body is about to become abnormal, about to do something unwholesome through the body, practice restraint and do not follow it. When the body is about to do something unwholesome through speech, practice restraint as well. Body and speech become normal through the power of morality. Then train the mind to become normal through samadhi. Use one meditation object and do not aim for calm. Whether calmness occurs or not is of no matter. If it is calm, know so. If not, know so. Every day we must use a meditation object so that the mind becomes normal. Practice with a meditation object, and when the mind runs off to think, know it. When the mind slips down and fixates, know that. Keep training like this. When we do walking, if the mind runs off to think, know that. If the mind sinks down and fixates on the body walking, know that. When we sit in meditation, breathing, if the mind runs off to think, know it has done so. If the mind fixates on the body, know so. If the mind fixates on the breath, know so. For example, when we're watching the abdomen rise and fall, if the mind sinks down to the abdomen, that is not the middle way. The mind has slipped down to focus. So keep recognizing the mind. Mindfulness is the tool that protects the mind from the power of defilements. It's what causes the mind to lose its normality are the defilements themselves. So practice with a meditation object, and however the mind is, keep knowing it. Know gently. Know what is there just as it is. The Buddha said that originally our minds are luminous, but they become defiled by visiting defilements that come from time to time. When we practice samadhi and have mindfulness caring for and protecting the mind, defilements cannot dominate it. The mind becomes luminous. And when the mind is luminous, it knows and is awake and joyful and calm and bright, but not yet clean. Have you ever heard this phrase? Calm, bright, and clean. Calm and bright come from the power of samadhi. Clean comes from the power of wisdom. That is a further step. Before wisdom arises, samadhi must come first. The state in which the mind has samadhi is when the mind is a stable observer, aware within itself, without intention. If there is intention, it is not genuine. The strength is still weak. If it is wholesome, but it is weak. When wholesome qualities are strong, there is no intention to be aware. Awareness arises by itself. the mind flows away. Knowing arises immediately. It is knowing by itself, without intending to know. The body moves, and there's no intention to know, yet it does know. Even while asleep, while the body turns left or right, it still knows. It is about to turn because it is uncomfortable, so it moves. It knows everything, both asleep and awake. Practicing continuously, it becomes automatic. It can know everything. When practice continues until the mind becomes the knower, or the mind becomes luminous, then it is time to develop wisdom. There is calm and comfort, the mind bright and clear, and not darkened by the clouds or the fog of defilements. But do not stop here. If you stop here, it's not yet worth having encountered the Buddha's teachings. To truly benefit from encountering the Buddha's teachings, wisdom must be developed. Sila, morality, and meditation exist in other religions as well, but the development of wisdom exists exclusively in Buddhist teachings. The way to develop wisdom is this. When the mind is a stable observer, just keep knowing. The body is sitting, know it. Then it'll be clearly seen that the body sitting is something that is known, something that is observed. It is not ourself, it is an object. It is a mass of elements, like something placed on a chair. Right now, this object is placed on a chair. Later it will be placed somewhere else. It'll walk somewhere else. Seeing like this, it is not a self, not a person, a being, not a me or a you. It's just a lump of elements, just like an object, moving back and forth under the power of the mind's command. It's like the body is hardware and the mind is software. When the mind gives a command, the body moves accordingly. Who ordered it to come and sit in this hall? The mind ordered it, and so it proceeded to do so. So the body is not you. It is merely matter. This is called the development of wisdom, seeing the truth that the body is not you, yours, merely matter, a mass of elements, impermanent, constantly oppressed by suffering. This is seeing the truth, because this is what the truth is. You don't have to try to see that the body is impermanent, because it already is. You don't have to try to see that the body is suffering. There's no need, because it's already suffering. You don't have to try to see that the body is not self, not you, because the you does not exist in the first place. It never did. So you're not doing anything strange or extraordinary. You're simply seeing the truth that the body is impermanent, constantly oppressed by suffering, is a mass of material elements, is not you. If your mind has quality samadhi, it sees this immediately. There's no inclining or imaginating or thinking. It just sees it. To see means to directly experience. The body moves, you directly experience the thing that is moving. When you're new at this and you move, for example, when brushing your teeth, suddenly there's a feeling that this isn't me. Some people experience it this way. But when the practice matures, you see the whole body is not you. This whole world is not you. The wisdom spreads outward. At first there may be just a little wisdom, seeing only a part of you as part of the body is not you. As you keep practicing, it's like gradually clearing land, removing what blocks the truth, covering the truth. Those things that cover the truth are gradually cleared away by the power of virtue, samadhi, and wisdom. And it's the same when observing the mind. A happy mind is impermanent. You truly see it without having to think. The same for an unhappy mind, unwholesome mind, wholesome mind, even the knowing, awakened, luminous mind. They're all impermanent. When defilements come to visit, it is no longer luminous. Even the knowing, awakened mind itself is impermanent and turns to a mind that looks at forms and gets lost looking at forms, gets lost in sounds, smells, flavors, touch, gets lost in thinking or fixating. Keep recognizing continuously, and wisdom will arise. But for wisdom to arise, the mind must first be able to be the knowing, observing mind. It must first be luminous. And then from that luminous mind, you see the truth of the body and the truth of the mind. You see the three characteristics. You see the truth that this body and mind adhere to the three characteristics. When you see reality, dispassion arises. Clinging loosens, and you let go of the body. You will no longer suffer, as the body does. And then you come to observe the mind. Previously, you wanted the mind to be happy all the time. But now, you see that a happy mind, or an unhappy mind, a good or a bad mind, they're all impermanent. You have wisdom that knows. There is nothing there. Only three characteristics, only things that arise and pass away and that cannot be controlled. Attachment, possessiveness towards pleasant states, aversion toward suffering, clinging toward goodness, and aversion toward badness. None of it remains. You do not even cling to the knowing mind itself. Regarding not clinging to the knowing mind, at the time I did not understand that at all. When I was a layperson, I didn't understand. On the last occasion, when I learned from Luangpu Dun, I went to learn from him, and he kept teaching and teaching. And when it was time to leave, I told him, "Luangpu, I'm leaving now." Luangpu was extremely exhausted. He had taught until he was gasping for breath. He taught intensely, but he said, "You cannot leave yet. You have to remember this. When you encounter the knower, destroy the knower. When you encounter the mind, destroy the mind. Only then will you reach true purity. Do you understand?" I said I did not understand, but I will remember it. The next day, I went to Korat to pay respects to Luangpa Put, and Luangpa Put asked me, "What did Luangpu Dun teach you?" And I told him. And he said, encountering the knower and destroying the knower, that is the pinnacle of Dhamma practice. 7 days earlier, Luangpa Put said, when I paid respect to Luangpu Dun, Luangpa Put told him, Luangpa Put said that Luangpu Dun told him, "Esteemed monk, the practice is not difficult. When you encounter the knower, destroy the knower. When you encounter the mind, destroy the mind. Only then will you reach true purity." Luangpa Put said Luangpu taught him the same thing, but he was afraid that I might go and blow up the knowing mind. If that were done, one would go crazy. So out of compassion for me, he explained that it simply meant that the mind has the three characteristics. It was not about destroying anything. And then he said to me, "You and I should make an agreement. If either of us manages to destroy it first, let's come and tell the other. Whoever succeeds first should tell the other." I knew that this was a skillful way of speaking. I was a student of Luangpu Dun, and Luangpa Put was a senior student of his. So for him to tell me directly about attainments would be inappropriate. Luangpu Dun did not assign me to study with Luangpa Put, so he used right speech, saying whoever succeeded first should inform the other. I knew immediately that sooner or later he would be the one telling me. There was no way I would succeed before him. More than 20 years passed. I had still not ordained yet, and I could not do it. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't destroy the knower. But one day, Luangpa Put came to give a Dhamma talk at the telephone company where I was employed. When I saw an opening, I went straight to pay respects to him and said, "Luangpa Put, I haven't seen you for a long time." He said, "I remember you. There aren't many genuine practitioners." I said, "I still can't destroy the knower." He was tired, visibly so, but when I said that I could not destroy the knower yet, he suddenly lit up, bright and powerful. And he said, "The knowing mind is like an eggshell. When the chick has fully matured, it breaks through the shell by itself." At that moment, all doubt was resolved. The way to destroy the knower is this. The knowing mind is like a chick inside an egg. When the chick inside the shell has fully matured, It breaks through the shell on its own. In the same way, when this mind has been fully trained through morality, samadhi, and wisdom, it'll break through the underlying defilements by itself. At that time, I really saw how profound his Dhamma was. I knew immediately that he had already done it. Luangpu Dun taught this Dhamma to only 2 people, the teaching on destroying the knower. He taught it to me, and he taught it to Luangpapu. Later on, people picked it up and passed it around, repeating this teaching, but destroying the knower is not something done intentionally. When morality, samadhi, and wisdom are developed, it is destroyed by itself. Right there, when morality, samadhi, and wisdom are fully matured, the noble path destroys the underlying defilements that envelop the mind. The pollutants are annihilated. The aggregates are then just aggregates. Dhamma is just Dhamma. Dhamma beyond the aggregates. The aggregates can be seen in 2 aspects. There's the aspect of aggregates that are a basis for clinging, another aspect of the aggregates that are free from clinging. Aggregates free from clinging include supramundane consciousness and supramundane mental factors that arise with supramundane consciousness. These are not clinging aggregates. What is called suffering is the clinging aggregates. What are those? The aggregates that we have right now, because we do not have the supramundane. We have the mundane. That is the clinging aggregates. So there are 2 aspects of aggregates. One belongs to the supramundane. That is not a basis for clinging. And then there is something else that is beyond the aggregates altogether. That is Dhamma, the Dhamma element. Somdet Jnana Samvara, he called it the consciousness element. Luangta Mahabua called it the Dhamma element. Luangpu Dun called it the one mind. Buddhadasa called it the original mind. Following Wei Ling, Luangpu Tate called it the heart. Luangpu Buddha called it the one heart. It is all the same thing. It is a state that has gone beyond the aggregates. It sees Nibbana. For now, just listen to what I'm saying. Like Luangpu Dun taught, some Dhamma takes a very long time to digest and understand. One must practice and keep practicing, and one day there will be progress. There is turmoil in the world, and turmoil in the monastic community as well. Don't be shaken by it. Nothing is permanent. Nothing lasts. Everything keeps changing. Use time to develop the mind as well. But next week, don't forget to vote. We must determine the fate of the country. If the country's fate is decided wrongly, look at many other countries. Disaster. So choose carefully, choose wisely. But that is a worldly matter. As for Dhamma itself, you must develop. Develop yourself. Keep the precepts. Second, train the mind to be luminous through the power of samadhi. And third, train the mind to be pure through the power of wisdom. Such is the path. Practice step by step. That is all for today. Number 1. I sit in meditation for 15 minutes per day. When I meditate and mindfulness arises, I feel happy. I understand that when mindfulness arises, only wholesome states arise. But in daily life, when I'm mindful, I still do something unwholesome. I understand this must not be correct mindfulness, so I respectfully ask for you to explain. If there is mindfulness, defilements cannot arise. When there is mindfulness, there's no defilements. When there are defilements, there cannot be. When there are no defilements, one cannot do unwholesome actions. So if you can do unwholesome things or bad things, there's no mindfulness. Defilements have arisen. Now this is easy to say, but it's hard to practice. It's a real battle. You have to put your life on the line. Getting through it is not easy. Fighting defilements is not simple. So when I see monks who fail, I don't get angry or resentful. It's because samsara, Mara, the devil, the defilements, do not let people escape easily. All of us still have the chance to slip. So we must practice carefully. There's nothing beyond virtue, samadhi, and wisdom. Nothing can defeat those things. Number 1, don't hold your mind still. Withdraw from there. Come out and be with the external world. Let me see that for a moment. Come all the way out. You're not out all the way yet. You're still stuck inside. Do you see that the mind feels dull? This is a kind of deluded samadhi you're practicing. There's an intentional leaning of the mind into dullness. When you practice samadhi like this and you try to come out, the mind carries the dullness with it. It's like someone who is addicted to drugs. Samadhi is addictive, like narcotics. Samadhi is something we rely on to charge our energy, but it must be practiced with mindfulness, overseeing it. Don't let the mind drift in or sink. Don't move it into dullness. The mind must remain aware, clearly knowing. Even if our concentration is so strong that the world disappears, we still must not lose mindfulness. Yes, come out like that. Don't sink inside. Come out and observe the body and mind working right here. Observe the body. You're too attached to samadhi. Notice the body standing, walking, sitting, lying down, just as I taught today. Observe frequently. Number 2, I'm determined to keep the 5 precepts without blemish. Every day I practice formally, morning and evening, reciting Buddho, knowing the breath. When I get lost, I know it. During the day I sit and practice mindfulness, doing walking meditation too, seeing the body move, feeling sensations, with the mind as the observer. When the mind gets lost, I can know it sometimes. Has the practice reached a point where the aggregates are separated? They are separated. That's because the mind is the stable observer and luminous. But when the defilements come, the luminosity disappears, the knowing mind disappears, the aggregates collapse back together into a single mass. So they separate temporarily, intermittently, and when the defilements come, they move back together. You're practicing well. I rejoice in your practice. You're doing good. Just practice consistently. Number 3, I chant and meditate every day. In daily life, I practice mindfulness, mainly observing my own body and mind from morning to night. I understand that the aggregates have separated. I see the 3 aggregates and defilements arising with frequency. The mind accepts more and more that there's no real self. Over the past 3 months, I've noticed that I tend to fixate and the mind feels tight. When I notice it, I let it go. Is there anything incorrect I'm doing? Your practice is correct. Keep going. When you fixate, know that you're fixating, and then that is correct. Right now there's fixating. Do you notice joy? If there is joy, know so. If it arises and the mind gets possessed by the joy, that is not good. The mind loses its independence. So if the mind has joy, know that. Pleasant, unpleasant, good, bad, treat them all as the same. When something unwholesome arises or wholesome arises, they both can dominate the mind. Wholesome being dominated by wholesome is a little bit better, but only slightly better. In truth, it's still not correct. It's still not good. The mind is not yet free. But you're doing well. Keep going. Next, number 6. I'm not following numerical order. Every day I practice formally with walking meditation. When sitting in a car for a long time, I use 14 hand movements, each session lasting 30 to 60 minutes. My mind alternates between restlessness and trying to hold still. In daily life, I notice anger and greed, and notice when I get lost more often. Very good. I feel the suffering is shorter periods, and I ask for your guidance. Defilements seem lighter. You're practicing correctly. Just keep going. Number 8. Number 6, keep practicing. But when you're out of energy, practice samatha to bring calm. You can't push insight practice continuously at full speed. You have to develop calm. You're practicing correctly, but add in samatha every once in a while. Number 8, I practice formally in sitting meditation, chanting, and observing the in and out breath for an hour a day. I see the body breathing, I see the mind get lost, knowing sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly. I see that the mind thinks and cannot be controlled. During the day I practice mindfulness and notice the body's movement, but I notice the mind less. I do work that requires thinking. I ask for guidance. You're practicing correctly. Keep going. The aggregates have already separated. You just haven't practiced enough yet. Practice continuously. When you're doing work where you're thinking, you can't practice. You have the duty to work, so you do it. But when you don't have to be thinking, then be aware. Number 8, well done. Good. Number 7. I begin my practice by chanting and then sitting in meditation. During meditation, I stay with the breath and begin to see thoughts arise, sometimes recognizing them and sometimes not. When I examine myself, I find that at times mindfulness and samadhi are not established, both during meditation and in daily life. May I have advice on how to improve? You're practicing correctly. When you do samadhi, see the movements and changes of the mind inside. So number 7, after establishing samadhi, you can practice insight within it. Do it frequently. But when you're out in the external world, don't let that samadhi linger. Right now it's lingering. Can you feel that? It still feels dull and still. You must notice it, otherwise it will linger like this all day, which is no good. It becomes habitual. When you enter samadhi, use a normal mind, but you cut off any attention to the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, leaving only the mind. And then you see the mind continues to function. In this way, you can develop wisdom. When it's time to, you come out of samadhi with no delusion following you out. If while sitting in meditation delusion is mixed in, then when you come out of samadhi, the delusion will follow you out as well. So be careful of this. When you meditate, don't let the delusion slip in. Which number is next, huh? Let's do number 4. You've been strained for a long time. Number 4, I have a lot of delusion. I mainly do walking, observing the body, getting lost and recognizing. I have mindfulness during the day. I keep the 5 precepts firmly. I often think that I'm doing well and I feel good about it. During walking, I don't catch the mind sliding into overfocus, but I notice that there's tightness in the chest, and it's from the beginning to the end of the walking path, and then it disappears at the end. It's like this repeatedly. Seeing that is fine, it's not a problem. Thinking good thoughts makes the mind comfortable. That's correct. Thinking positively is comfortable. Keep knowing the feelings. You're still quite attached to over-focusing, still attached to making the mind still. Stop trying. Stop practicing and let me see. Stop completely. Come out and be an ordinary human being. Do you recognize this mind? Do you know it? This kind of mind is good. That mind is not good. When there is discomfort, don't fabricate mind states. Don't fabricate dullness. The mind by its nature is luminous and clear. When defilements arise, it's no longer clear. There is defilement wanting to be good, wanting to practice, so you sit and fixate, stare and become tense. Then the good mind disappears. So now there's a little happiness. Do you notice it? You feel satisfied. Just see it. Don't let it take over. If you let it take over, then you'll be like addicted to drugs, enamored. You're starting to fixate again. Do you see it? There's some tightness and weight. Why do you focus like that? Because you want to practice. Why is that? Because you love yourself. Love yourself and want to practice, that's fine. But later gradually know it and relax out of it. At first it's too tight. Everyone is. In the beginning it's tight. But then when you recognize it, it gradually loosens. Come back to being an ordinary person for me again, please. See? Even now you move, but you're still not ordinary. The mind is locked. This is not good. If you stay stuck like this, you won't develop wisdom. You'll just be still and torment yourself. That is self-mortification. Be an ordinary person. Right? Here is good. This is ordinary. Fabricating a practitioner is not good. It's exhausting. Lastly, number 5. I don't watch movies or listen to music, and I don't use social media. I do walking meditation every morning, feeling as if I'm watching somebody else walk. I see thoughts, sometimes neutrally, sometimes not. I work as a dentist, observing the body moving and breathing, alternating with seeing thoughts. In the evening I chant, and I see the body chanting, alternating with seeing thoughts. When lying down, I see the body breathing until I fall asleep. You practice well, but your mind is still quite restless. So don't abandon samatha. You must do it as well. When you're treating a patient's teeth, do you feel that their teeth are just elements without feeling? That however much it hurts, it doesn't matter because your mind is neutral? You can't do that. You'll be tormenting the patient. When you work with a mind of loving kindness, of metta, not equanimity. Work with kindness and compassion. Otherwise, you're applying Dhamma of the wrong category. When the patient is in pain, you must have compassion and help relieve their pain. If you're equanimous, seeing it as just material elements, grabbing a needle and injecting immediately, even before the anesthesia takes effect, that's bad. Ajahn Ah once experienced this when we went to the dentist. When my appointment was complete, I went to the washroom. I'd been holding it for over an hour. I thought I'd come back and tease him, because while I was being treated, Ajahn Ah was standing beside me saying, "Wow, there's a lot of blood." I didn't hold a grudge, but I did remember that he did that. So I had to pay him back. When his dental work was done, by the time I came back from the washroom, Ajahn Ah had already had his tooth extracted. And the dentist did freeze it, but then pulled the tooth out, and the numbness came afterward. That's not acceptable. The dentist must have compassion, not equanimity. Number 7, you have a small weak point. You're attached to fixation, over-focusing. It's too tense. Be more ordinary. Be an ordinary person. Today, checking your practice was easy because everyone practiced diligently and came prepared. I just made some small adjustments. Most of you are already doing well, so only small adjustments were needed. Okay, it's time to go home.